Hello, welcome to Canada's most irreverent talk show. This is the Andrew Lawton Show on True North. May 13th, 2021. Just coming up in a few weeks' time is our one-dose summer. I know, I'm so excited. I've been looking forward my whole life to having a one-dose summer. Sounds like a weird band from the 90s, or alternatively, some... Why don't you take a look?
We all want to have a summer where we can see our loved ones and invite friends over for barbecues. We can have that summer. We can have a one-dose summer. But for that, two things need to happen. First, restrictions need to remain in place until cases go way down with more screening, testing, and contact tracing. We need to successfully limit community transmission. Second, as Dr. Tam said, at least 75% of Canadians need to have received their first shots. And we need to keep ramping up those second. If we can do this, we can have a more normal, better summer.
So Trudeau's saying this is all part of the big master plan. A one-dose summer sets us up for a two-dose fall. And then, I'm not sure if you heard it, but the wording is very important here. And in the fall, we'll be able to talk about going back to school, back to work, and back to more normality. So not that in the fall we'll be able to go back to a normal life, but in the fall we'll be able to talk about maybe at some point, somehow, at some point in the next 72 years, having a back to normal plan, which is pretty much the only crumbs we're being thrown from our leaders and overlords right now. And I'm not exactly convinced. After all, remember when he said this?
It's all too likely we won't be gathering for Thanksgiving. We still have a shot at Christmas. Together, we have the power to get the second wave under control.
Yes, that was in the lead up to Thanksgiving of 2020 when Justin Trudeau said, well, we still have a shot at Christmas. Alas, there was no shot to be found. If you're a Hamilton fan, we all threw away our collective shot, as we're doing now with our one-dose summer. Now, I know not everyone watching this wants to get their COVID-19 shot. Not everyone wants to be vaccinated. I am a complete believer in your right as an individual to make that determination.
When I'm not around, you're so very special.
And then, I'm not sure if you heard it, but the wording is very important here.
I wish
and
I
in the
was
fall, we'll be
special.
able to talk about going back to school, back to work, and back to more normality. So not that in the fall we'll be able to go back to a normal life, but in the fall we'll be able to talk about maybe at some point, somehow, at some point in the next 72 years, having a back to normal plan.
I don't belong here. Oh, she's running out the door.
Which is name-calling and insulting conservatives.
The Prime Minister received his first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Will he be getting a second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, 2 doses of Pfizer or Moderna, or 1 dose of Pfizer or Moderna in the future? Which one will it be?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for Nose Hill for her questions about my well-being. Let me assure her that I talked to my doctor just last week. He recommended that I indeed get a second dose of AstraZeneca in the coming weeks or months when it becomes available. When my turn comes up in the month of Ontario, in the province of Ontario, that is what I am focused on doing. I know there are questions being asked around the world about the data that involves mixing and matching doses. There are no recommendations around that yet, but I know scientists are leaning in carefully to see if it may be the right option for many people.
Honourable Member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Is the Prime Minister and the government recommending that people who received the first dose of AstraZeneca get a second dose of AstraZeneca with that comment he just made, or is he advising them to contact their doctor?
What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
A government that has completely lost any ability for the population to trust it. This poll I found not all that surprising, that Canadians have less trust in political leadership because of how the pandemic was handled. This is true of Jason Kenney, it's true of Doug Ford, it's true of Justin Trudeau. Oddly, it's true of everyone but Francois Legault, which is odd because Quebec has been one of the more restricted provinces in Confederation, but pretty much every leader in this country is less trusted now because of the pandemic. So Trudeau doesn't get to say, well, political leaders don't give health advice. Yeah, you do. You're actually responsible for imposing restrictions, you're responsible for vaccine supply, and your staff are responsible for giving the guidance that has been the source